9 minutes past the hour of 4 p.m. here at 900 AM WRD. Al Butler here. Yeah, so let me go ahead and get this out the way. Alright, so let's pick up the story at the beginning, shall we? Well, you guys know part of the story already. Alright, so you know, I got the call about the test shoot, and it was going to be Friday, so I had to do the 15-hour emergency shutdown, no liquid, no food, whatever, and get myself as ready as possible for this thing that was going to take place Friday. Well, then I told you on Friday they got bumped to Saturday. Well, it turns out on Saturday it got bumped to Sunday. Well, what also happened was on my ride home Friday, I got a call. I got a call from Fox saying, hey, we're going to be doing a piece on what they call dueling rallies down in D.C., and we want you to be a part of it. And I was like, cool, yeah, I'd love to do that. I'd love to have that conversation. I'm like, cool. So it's going to be right at the top of the show, so just be there, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, cool. All right, so in my head I'm thinking, great, do the shoot as early in the afternoon as possible. Get that out the way, start getting my body back together again. I'll be ready for the evening show, going to news, knocking out the box. We're all good. And Sunday will be a rest and recovery day. So I get a call sometime Saturday afternoon, and the photographer's like, yeah, man, we got things are crazy over here. We got a bump. We can try to squeeze it in later today, but then I know you have this thing later tonight on the news, and I don't want to rush it. I want us to be able to take our time. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. As much as it pains me to say, let's just do it Sunday instead of squeezing it in today. So we bump it to Sunday, which means now my food intake is gone to not zero, very little. I had small things like little breakfast bars or energy bars that I ate first thing in the morning, but really nothing more than that the rest of the day. And taking like cap-sized sips of either water or Gatorade, depending on how I felt, periodically throughout the day. Right. So, but going into, well, let me back up. I had to do a radio interview. I did an interview on a blog radio show around. It was from 1:30 to 2:30, and that went well. You know, everything was cool. I was like, okay, if I can do this interview, get some food in me a little bit before we go on the news tonight, I'll be straight. So then it's getting closer to news time, and I start eating something light, but getting some protein in me, and getting some kind of sustenance in my body. I think my first mistake was, not my first mistake, but, you know, obviously, in the scheme of things that night I'm talking about, I decided to get a 5-hour energy drink because I was so lethargic from having not eaten that I figured I needed some kind of boost of energy so that I wouldn't come off as dry like this. You can't do that on TV. So I did that. So I had my little bit of food. Now, when I say a little bit of food, it really was a little bit of food, but it was more than I'd had in probably 48 hours. And I took my little cap size of liquid and took my 5-hour energy shot, started getting ready, went down to the station, you know, had my little black jacket on, black suit on. I went with a lavender shirt, by the way. I thought that would complement my skin tone. So I did that, and I get there, everything is cool. I got my Gatorade with me. I'm drinking it as I'm going because you know, one of the things that always happens, whether I'm on TV or whether I'm talking to a group of people or whatever, I get that sensation of dry mouth right before I start. So I had the Gatorade right there so I wouldn't have to worry about that. And so as they're prepping me, they put the mic on me, and everything is good. I'm standing in position. I'm feeling extra dry mouth, but that's, I think, because I already was dehydrated, and then the sensation of the little bit of a nerve hit me, and you know, so I'm drinking a little bit more, not thinking anything of it. The segment starts. We're going. I get my first answer out. I thought I did a pretty decent job on my first answer. It wasn't completely what I wanted to say, but compared to what was going on in my brain come the second answer, I thought I did pretty well. They asked me Joyce asked me the second question, and my brain well, first of all, I have to say that as she was asking me the question, I started to see spots a little bit, and I felt my legs get weaker. I actually had to lean against the console as I'm talking. So in my head, I'm trying to figure out the words that I'm going to use to answer the question, and it's like the words are greased pigs in a pen, and I'm trying to catch them. And I can see the words I want to use, and I'm going to go for them, but they're not coming out. And I'm like, oh, in my head, and I don't know how it played because I cannot go back and watch the tape. I just refuse. But I finally say something that's halfway coherent and Joyce, I think, saw that I was struggling with my answer, and she kind of cut me off. Like, well, let's transition in her mind, she said. So she started to ask the next question. I'm not quite sure what I did. I think I went for my head or something, but I was definitely feeling lightheaded at that point. I don't remember what happened when they cut away from me, because the next thing I remember is someone at the station catching me. And I hear, whoa, 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 you all right? You all right? And I'm just not quite sure what's going on. And the first, this is classic Albert. The first thing I asked my man was, did I faint on TV? I was like, please tell me I didn't pass out on TV. And they're like, no, 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 we cut away before it happened. We cut away before it happened. I was like, are you sure? Because I don't need this ending up on YouTube and me becoming the fainting YouTube sensation. I don't want it to go down that way. So they took me to the side. They sat me down in a chair, gave me stuff to munch on. Now this is one of the things that was pretty interesting about the whole thing, was that Dr. Mike, who does a regular segment there, Dr. Mike called in while I was doing my hit and said, call 911. He needs help. How crazy is that? He called the director's room and said, get 911, the guy needs help. So, I don't know, 5 minutes later, paramedics come upstairs and they check out my vitals. They said my pulse was a little weak, but my blood pressure was strong, and asked me if I would go to the hospital. I was like, no, there is no way that I am going to the hospital to finish the humiliation of fainting on live TV and checking at the hospital. Like, yeah, I'm the guy who fainted on TV. I need to get checked out now. I knew what it was all about. I knew it had to do with my nutritional goals, or lack thereof. And so the people at Fox just took such great care of me. I can't thank them enough. They let me stay there as long as I needed to. They were willing to send me home in a cab. They were willing to arrange for whatever transportation to get me home. And what ended up happening is one of the folks from Fox actually drove me and my car back to my house. And he was going to go out downtown anyway, so after he parked the car and I got out, he just went downtown to kick it in Center City. So that was great. And I just want to say all that because I know I got some email, and I got emails from friends who got emails, and I got calls from people who got calls, and all that kind of stuff, people wondering what was going on. No, I also got an interesting email that I'm going to share with you when we come back from this commercial break about the real reason that someone thought that I got, that I fainted, or that I got woozy. I didn't actually go unconscious, but I did. Whoop. Whoop. But anyway, it's all good. Did the shoot yesterday, Sunday afternoon, did the shoot. Not quite sure how it went. It seemed like it went okay, but you know, you're doing kind of awkward, unnatural poses, and I'm not sure how that went down. The photographer said he liked it, so we'll see how it goes. And I'll wait to hear back from that. Hear back that next couple of days. We'll see what the results are. But everything else is good. I'm eating again. I started eating yesterday. Don't have to worry about me anymore. I started eating. Had soup and light liquid food like yogurt yesterday. Now I'm back to more regular solid foods today, and I hope to get back on the track sometime Wednesday or Thursday. I should be physically ready to exercise again. All right, see, I got a plan. It's all good, but I do appreciate everyone's concern. It really does mean a lot to me. I appreciate that very much. My name is Al B. Listen to Al B in the afternoon, as if you didn't know already. Phone lines are open, 215-634-8065, 215-634-8065. We were supposed to have Aisha Brown on all day today from Global Awareness Project Consulting, but unfortunately she had a last-minute issue come up and was unable to make the trip. She's actually in D.C. and she was going to come up to do the show. But unfortunately, she won't be joining us today. So she did send her apologies and said that she would like to come back again as soon as possible. It'll probably be the weekend, the Monday after, or the week after Labor Day, however we work that out schedule-wise. But in the meantime, there's lots to talk about. If you went to the rally or watched it on TV, I want to get your feedback. I watched both. I watched pieces of both, as much as I could of both, obviously because I was going to be on. I would not have watched the Glenn Beck if I didn't have to. I really wouldn't have. But if you watched it and you have some feedback on that, I'd love to hear your take on it. I have a take on it. I started to give some of it Saturday night. I obviously didn't get to finish, but I'll do that today. Also have an interesting email from a concerned listener that I want to share with you as well. And much more. You know, it's Monday. It's how it be. That's how we do it. So we'll continue with that. Phone line's open. Hit me up, 866-361-0900. 866-361-0900. That's toll free. Locally, you can hit us up at 215-634-8065. I'm Al B. We're going to hit some buttons and come back on the other side with your phone calls. All right? Right for this. That's cool.
How do you stop it?
I don't know.